about Palestine, especially like being from London, there's so much backlash.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you're anti-Semitic. Oh.
Yeah.
So what do you think of
The
this?
same narration, yeah?
Yeah. And I don't have time for laziness. Like that dialogue, you can keep it. Because for me, I've seen it, you know, like we've seen the impact. I don't have time for small talk. Because the people in Palestine didn't have time for small talk, you know? And like this situation, honestly, like we've lived through something which in history will be studied.
Yeah.
And we'll be the generation that existed at this time.
Yeah.
That for me is a testament to the people of Aceh. Because to recover from that is not easy, you know? Not only the physical damage, but mentally, emotionally, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah, you lost everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, and I think I really want to do more with Aceh, because I think not only in Indonesia you should feel extremely proud of the people of Aceh, but I think the same thing if we're able to tell this story to people in Europe, you know, as people that show strength, faith. I think Aceh is the perfect example, you know, alongside like Palestine, you know, the strength and the iman that they show, it, like the world need. And even for me as a Muslim, I look at the videos and the images that are coming out from Palestine, and I'm like, I don't have anywhere near this level of iman. You know, like when you see children that are prepared to die, and they're saying, you know, like, will we go to Jannah tomorrow? We will see Allah. Like they're smiling. And I'm looking at this, like if you said the same thing to a child in the West or in London, they won't be able to sleep because it's like, I'm gonna die, you know. And you look at this level of iman, and for me it's so inspirational, you know.
It was almost the same like what happened in Aceh and Palestine, right? A bit there's some similarities about this situation, as we know that in this era, this is the era when the technology it was like it. You have the AI, you have almost everything. You want to eat something, the food that come to you. Now you go to restaurants sometimes, but the level of mental health problem is the highest right now. I mean it's contradictory. But the people in Palestine, they don't have the technology, the AI, the everything, but they have the less mental health problem. Then they still keep their faith. Mashallah.
And you know, like for me it's so important because what this situation has showed us in Palestine, like the concept of humanity, for me it doesn't exist. It's died, you know. I don't want to hear anybody say if we like, oh, humanity, because if anything the situation has exposed is selfishness, you know. Like selfishness, we had a pandemic. Selfishness now for me is the biggest disease. And one thing that even I struggle with, it's like I'll go to the gym and then sometimes I will process like living my day, and I'll be like, on this same planet where I have the freedom and liberties to go to the gym, go to work, speak to my friends, there's a child dying in Palestine at that same moment, right? And it's the process of like becoming desensitized, because all of us, we've seen almost now for a year the same content, the sad scenes that are coming to our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and naturally like you become desensitized, and it's so important to recognize that process, because for me it's mind-blowing, you know. Like I'll be in the gym and I'll be like, okay, I'm doing my weights, I'm laughing, I'm smiling. On this same planet in Palestine, children are dying. So if we ever wanted to see a situation that exposed a power dynamic and evil, like as direct as it is, this situation has taught us, you know, the concept of, oh, we're human, we all love each other. If that was the case, this wouldn't have happened, you know.
If the concept of humanity is really
real, so you can't fool me. And you know, like honestly, and this goes for everyone, like selfishness and being self-centered. Like we're living in the era now of me. You know, like what do I want to do? How do I feel? How does this impact me? You know, and like, bro, I'm guilty. Like I live my life, you know. Like at the same time, I always think of Palestine, but I still have the privilege, you know. And either people don't recognize their privilege or they ignore it. But it's one of the challenges that I'm like, Wasim, don't become desensitized to what's going on, because the moment you lose that essence, you've lost everything. You know, the moment that you really start thinking that I don't need to care about this, or even subconsciously, you know, today I have a busy day. How is it normal that people are dying, children, women, men, innocent people are dying? And I think for me, it just exposes the hypocrisy. And you know, like in this era, if you talk about Palestine, especially like being from London, there's so much backlash. Oh, so you're anti-Semitic. Oh
yeah.
So what do you think of
the
this?
Same narration,
yeah. And I don't have time for laziness. Like that dialogue, you can keep it, because for me, I've seen it. You know, like we've seen the impact. I don't have time for small talk, because the people in Palestine didn't have time for small talk. You know, and like this situation, honestly, like we've lived through something which in history will be studied. And we'll be the generation that existed at this time. And like, of course, we make dua. We try everything that we can do to assist. And you also, I want to give you respect, because since the conflict started, you're very vocal. You are very vocal, mashallah. Like,
mashallah.
And bro, that impact and that blueprint, we see it. You know, when I'm in the UK, I look on your feed, bro. You are investing so much time. And it's so important that the rest of us also, we're conscious, you know, and we keep our prayers up. You know, as Muslims, bro, there's nothing more important than our prayers. But bro, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, because the history will tell the story for our children, for our kids, for in the future, right? And in which side we are on. We are on the right side or on the evil side. Inshallah. Person will be free in the
inshallah. And bro, you know, like this whole thing is like, I've grown up with the concept of like how the world has been described, right? And I've grown up on this side, you know, this Western side of like, we're here to help people, we're the good guys. And seeing this, bro, it's exposed so much, you know. And you're right, history will remember what side we was on. And I think it's so important, like 1 year in, we refresh our energy. And even though like that feeling of hopelessness, we can't allow our feeling to completely go, or the motivation, because when something's new, everyone's protesting, we're posting, then naturally after 6 months, it's like, okay, my efforts, it didn't really bring much change, you know. So then it's like, okay, maybe I won't post. And people are scared of coming across political. But human beings are human beings, you know. As Muslims, we respect human lives. We're a religion of tolerance. And anybody who cares about Palestine, Muslims and non-Muslims, 1 year in, find space, sabr, and we go again. Don't allow our intention to become diluted. You know, because we're in, like, even us having this conversation, it's a position of privilege. You know, there's no planes, there's no bombs,
there's no drones,
and it's so important that we recognize that.
I believe our brother and sister there, they are still thinking that they still believe that there are so many brothers and sisters to keep fighting in any way that they can, right? And then that I still remember some quote that said, when one apple fell down to the ground, they found humanity and the gravity. And one Palestinian fell down to the ground, there's no humanity.
So true.
Mashallah, mashallah. But I heard in UK the rally also have big numbers, right?
Yeah, I think it's complicated because the people are definitely speaking. They're turning up in numbers, and now it's no longer just solely like a Islamic movement. It's, people can see it for what it is. You don't have to be Muslim to support Palestine. You know, there's Christian Palestinians. The narrative doesn't show that. But I think people are also disheartened because you're protesting every week. You're going, but then, you know, our country is in the UK is still sending arms to Israel. So it's almost like it's not a case of let's listen to the people. The government are not representing the people. And we saw in our recent elections many independent candidates for the first time. They beat some of the more established political parties. because people are not happy with how the government have responded to the situation in Palestine. But I think people are also exhausted. But I'm very proud, you know, like someone said this to me on the plane. They was like, are you happy being Muslim in London? Like, what does it feel like? And I think for me, London is such an amazing city because it's such a mixture of culture. We have there's Indonesians, Turkish, Somalians, Jamaicans, everyone you can think of. And there's tolerance, there's respect, and there's integration. And, you know, one thing that I'm so proud of is I didn't realize what racism was until I left London. Because in London, like, everyone respects culture. So if you went to any place and someone said something to racist to you, someone of a different ethnicity would stick up for you. So there's such a togetherness and brotherhood in London. And yeah, someone said to me, like, on the plane, Wasim, I was a master's student, Indonesian. Like, did you enjoy it in London? Like, what's it like? And I said, the level of diversity. And it's similar in Indonesia. Like, you have so much different types of Indonesian people, you know? And it's the same in London. And I think it's the best thing about London. I heard that the growth of the Muslim really, really fast there. And like, so I think Islam increased something like 10% in the last 10 years. So it's gone up a lot. And I think also because there are many people that are so passionate about dawah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like from the Qatar there, we had the conversation before. And also Imam Qasim. Imam Qasim Al-Khaira. He was from London as well. MashaAllah. And then I heard that the population only 5% Muslim in London, right? And on the last riot that happening, it was like Islamic slandered. Well, the stabber is not Muslim.
But it just shows you, like, when the political agenda, because what people don't realize is everything has a journey, right? So when you've spent the last 20 years saying 9/11 Muslim terrorists, you know, Muslim Islam, and what people don't realize is whenever there's something negative that happens, that accounts for 0.001 of the population of Muslims. But the media attention it gets is 80-90%. So what's happened, especially in our country recently, is people have grown up hearing negative things about Islam. And also you can really take it back. So there are, like, the white English population of England, the working class are some of the lowest achievers academically. So what you have now is a population that haven't achieved with education. They don't have the greatest of life chances and prospects. So now there's frustration. Why is the guy from Indonesia, he came here and their family have the nice car? Where is my car? This is my country. But the crazy thing is, and this is like the myth, right? Is if you say to a white English person, are you English? They will say, yes, this is my country. I was born here. But if they done a DNA test, they will be German, they will be Norwegian. So this is my country too, you know? And this was one of the things that came out, you know? Like, one guy, he said, I want all brown and black people to go back. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, because if we do your DNA test, you should go back. Go to Germany, go to Norway. It's not a color thing, you know? And it's that's what I think the issue is there's people that, you know,
in social issue,
and in the era of social media, you're seeing cars, you're seeing holidays, Dubai, all of this. And then you're like, where is mine? And instead of taking accountability, I didn't listen in school, I wasn't good with education, I didn't set up a business, who can I blame? And, you know, there are so many people that are coming, migrants, that they come, they're hardworking, they contribute, and their children become successful and more successful. And then people, they're envious because they don't share that. And I think it's really easy to politicize that. Alongside, we need a bad guy put on the media, the Muslim, you know, extreme. Like, even the term Islamist, and it's like, okay, what's the equivalent for a Christian? Because I never hear the Christian equivalent, right? And for me, like, knowing like Sunnah, and how peaceful Islam is, it becomes exhausting. Because the agenda is always there, you know? Like we spoke about this, but even praying 5 times a day, for me, I look at anybody who prays 5 times a day and I'm like, discipline, you know, discipline. Like we all have our phones, we all have busy schedules. Stop, I'm going to pray. Like that takes like a different level of self-awareness. How can you demonize that? You know, it's such a beautiful thing. And in the era of now, there's so much dopamine. The algorithm has got you. And you're telling me that you have the ability to, you're still in control. You know, stop, I'm going to pray. And people will say, you know, like 5 times. And it's like, you go toilet 5 times a day. No one says you go toilet, like nothing else has so much attention. And it's so important that we break down lazy narrative. Bro, it's so lazy, you know? And I think, especially like with these recent riots, it's scary because I think it's the first time in my lifetime I've heard such racist things on a mainstream level. And people can't differentiate. So even for us, it's like, let's say we have a political issue. They say illegal migrants, they're crossing from France into the UK on boats, small boats. So everything in the media is migrants. So then give it some time, but you are also a migrant, no? So, you know, the brain, it can't compute. So it's like Muslim. But Ari, Wasim, you are Muslim. Eventually the brain is lazy, you know, because if we actually thought about it, the amount of good Muslims, the amount of people that travel to Muslim countries, like some of these racist people, they holiday in Dubai, they holiday in Turkey, they love it, they love kebab, you know? But then it's like the Muslims are the problem. Their brain can't put things into perspective. And I think like it's so important that we highlight the narrative that's existed for too long. You know, this whole thing, Muslim, terrorist, extremism is lazy. Because when we look at the population of over 1 billion Muslims, think of numbers. We're talking 99.9999% of people that are peaceful, that are family orientated, that pray, that are God-fearing people, that hold themselves to account. And you're telling me the 0.001% is getting all of the spotlight, the spotlight, the headline act. It doesn't make sense.
Because if everybody could see with the fair number, the what do you call it? Probably terrorists, probably the terrorists that have the brand Islam. The population only 0.002% of among those Muslim population, but they are, I mean, the media make them as the face of Muslim, right? If you say that many Muslim countries like Qatar, probably like Saudi Arabia, probably Dubai, they have the less criminal, right? And number of criminals, they have the less. So when you explain about what happened, really is a social issue. Actually, they just blame Muslim about that, or probably blame people with colors. Well, actually, the accountability, they're probably the problems, but we are human. We're searching for something to blame. But inshallah, when somebody, probably anybody that asks you about the or probably ask us as a Muslim like 5 times a day, someday they will at least I will taste the pleasure of what is 5 times a day.
Because even for me, the moment I discovered 5 times, I was like, where was this before? You know, like when life felt heavy, when I felt stressed, when I didn't want to go outside, when I was like, if I had this before, like subhanallah, the feeling and the invincibility, you know, like even for me, like before anything that's important, presentation, like important content speeches, the moment I pray, I'm like, wow, like everything just feels easy. I saw this story about Habib, the UFC fighter, and he was in Dubai, and he said to his driver, I want to go to the masjid. The driver said, but we went before, you know, it's not time to pray, it's in a few hours. He's like, I want to go to the masjid. He said, why? He said, I just don't feel good right now. They stopped the car, he went to the masjid, he prayed 2 rakat, he came back, he said, Alhamdulillah, now let's go. And they're like, why did you need to go again? He said, because I don't like to do public speaking. So he said, sometimes I still get nervous. So I prayed 2 rakat. Now the power is back. Let's go.
MashaAllah.
You know,
it was like a vanish button. I mean, there is like a break button for you. I mean, you're getting out from the real world.
The noise. Yeah.
It was a silent. Have you been to Madinah, Nabawi?
Inshallah, this year. I haven't been.
You have to taste the masjid of Rasulullah. Whoa. It was the calmless for me. It was the calmless masjid I ever feel. I mean, when you were there, I feel like I want to stay here forever. No social media, no everything, just alone in here, just sitting there doing nothing. It was like, wow. I don't know how that feeling came from. I mean, it was because of there's so many people praying or things like that. I don't know. I mean, the situation, even though outside is hot or even cold, inside it was like, oh, amazing. You should taste it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Bro, so I have a question for you. So, you know, like, have you always been religious? You?
Yeah, but human is ups and downs, right?
If you could compare, like, you feeling the most at peace, and then let's say when you was on your biggest down, can you describe the differences? Because what I want to do is try and understand, like, the impact that like religion plays in your ability to be content and feel at peace. So is there like a big contrast for you?
If I had many problems, I think if I'm in a masjid, probably on praying mat. If I'm in the masjid, I feel like so many problems. Like I'm posing everything. Like every dua, if I know the translation, it was like we putting all of the problem to Allah. It was like inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. It is not our problem anymore. You put it to Allah. If you safaq Allah, it was like the translation. It was putting our problem to Allah. In every problem, it was like it is so easy to be a Muslim, because if we have problem, just give it to him. Just give it to Allah, because He will take everything. Solve the problem for you. And sometimes, I remember my life back, I thought that I could handle every situation. I could handle every problem. I could handle it myself. I don't need anybody.
You're the man.
I'm the man. I know what I'm doing, and I'm doing it myself. I don't need anybody. And then many problems,
life humbled you, right?
It was like, and then when I have many problems, it was like, okay, Allah, surrender. I cry this one. I cannot handle this. I give it to you. It's up to you how to
manage the situation.
Manage it for me. And then if it is probably what you want, it is not good as many people's eyes probably, but it's your dignity. I will receive it, because every time I pray and it happens, it's my will. But every time I pray, it's not happening, it's Allah's will. So everything is good, I think.
MashaAllah.
Inshallah, I still keep learning about that. So this is the podcast. I think the podcast for me to learn in every perspective. It is not for, having the many ideas that come for the content only, but it's for myself.
Education.
For education.
This is your degree.
Inshallah. Wow. Going back to Indonesia, going back to the football match. Indonesia will against Australia. So you will be on Indonesia's side or Australia? Indonesia,
absolutely Indonesia. I'm timnas.
Because one of the Indonesian players also played in England, right? Bagot, Elkan Bagot. Well, he's not playing tomorrow.
No,
he's not playing. But how do you measure Indonesian team right now?
You've improved so much. I was in the Asian Cup, and I was at the Australia game. I think they won 4-0. So in last 16, I think, of the Asian Cup. the team had potential in Qatar in the Asian Cup, but seeing the Saudi game, like the level has gone up.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I think before with my heart, I was thinking the World Cup is a possibility, but small. More with my emotion, with my heart than my head. Seeing the Saudi game and some of the new players that have come in, I believe there's a strong chance that they could make the World Cup. And Australia, they just lost to Bahrain. 1-0.
Yeah.
So I think if there was a time to beat Australia, it will be in this game.
Oh, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I thought when Indonesia against Saudi Arabia, it was like second class team. I thought.
Yeah.
When I saw Mancini, wow.
It's
serious.
Yaya Toure was there also.
Masya Allah. Inshallah. Ya guys, kita doakan tim kita ini ada satu kegembiraan baru ya. Apalagi banyak sekali yang berharap untuk kemenangan Indonesia melawan Australia. So, last words. What do you want to say to our viewers that just find you here?
Yeah.
Probably want to introduce your Instagram, probably your YouTube.
Yeah.
Any words to them?
Assalamualaikum, Indonesia. Please check out my channel, Wasim's Way. It's the same on all social medias. But I just want to say, I don't feel like a content creator. I don't feel like a Bule. When I come here, I just come here as a human being. And thank you so much for the respect, the kindness, the love, the welcoming. I really appreciate it. And I think, alhamdulillah, even for me being able to travel across the world, you know, and experience a timnas game or the kindness of Ramadan in Indonesia. So, terima kasih. And inshallah, there's more exciting things coming. And Ari is incredible. So please keep supporting our brother also.
Thank you very much. And also still single.
Yeah.
Guys, masih banyak peluang teman-teman semua. Tinggal langsung aja follow aja IG-nya Wasim's Way dan juga YouTube-nya Wasim's Way juga.
Yeah.
Masya Allah. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.